Well, hello there, internets. It's me, DP Knudten, and it's time for another Bookward Bound episode. It's day 16 on my quest, my 301-day quest to create a new book by January 1st, 2021. Again, it may not be published by then, but it's going to be ready for putting up on Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing on January 1st of 2021. Am I crazy? I kind of think I am, because this is nuts, my friends. But it's also what I have to do to keep myself motivated and moving forward. The fact is, this is Friday, March 20th at 7:11 p.m. on a Friday night. And as my wife will constantly be reminded, I hate doing anything on a Friday night because it's like the end of the week. I'm dead tired. Please don't schedule anything. Well, that's not how it works when it comes to Bookward Bound, because the deal I made myself and with you, internet viewer, is that I'm going to do a 301 consecutive live streams as I work toward creating this brand new book called NonFiction Brand, Discovering, Crafting, and Communicating the Completely True, Completely You brand you already are. That's the title, and that's the promise I'm making you. And part of that promise is that I'm going to be doing these live streams. So I have to move the ball forward, if you will, on this book, at least a little bit. As much as I just want to sit and kick back on a Friday night, I'm actually going to open up my mind mapping software, which is called iThoughts, and do a little bit of that. So iThoughts is I think they have a Windows version as well, but I use Mac. I'm a MacBook Pro. I'm using Mac OS Catalina, which is, I don't even know what number it is. I just know it's called Catalina, and I use iThoughts as my outlining tool of choice. Hold on, I'm getting the right thing open, which you should be able to see. I don't want that open. Hold on. Stand by. There we go. How do I get rid of that? I cancel out of it. All right, so here's iThoughts, or iThoughts X. Is that what? Yeah, it's called iThoughts X on Mac OS. And as you can see, it does what all good mind maps do. It captures information and then collapses it down so that you can focus on what you actually need to focus on. And I'm going to be focusing on the theory, which is the first big bucket of my book, is going to be about the theory of nonfiction branding as elucidated by me, the inventor of nonfiction branding, or maybe I should say the framer of it, because I'll be honest with you, sorry, I'm not creating anything terribly new. I'm just framing it up a little bit differently. And my version of branding is called nonfiction branding because it's based on being truly true to yourself, who you are, what you do, and how you do it, and then communicating all those three things, who you are, what you do, and how you do it, via the incredible power tools of social media on a consistent basis. So as I talk about the theory of nonfiction branding, I talk about things like I am not a fiction writer, which this section was all about where the idea came from the very, very beginning. And I've already started writing that, so I'm going to shut that down. Branding gets personal. This talks about Tom Peters' August 13th article in 1997 in Fast Company magazine. That was the first appearance of the concept of personal branding and what personal branding actually is. Because, again, nonfiction branding is about being the completely true, completely you brand that you already are. So that came out of that. I actually read that article. I actually owned that issue of Fast Company magazine in 1997, and I read that article, and it stuck in the back of my mind like a tick, just sitting there for literally years, going on decades. But that's the power of that idea of creating a personal brand. So my book's going to be about personal branding, but on how you can do it for yourself, how you can know it's true to who you are, what you do, and how you do it, and stuff like that. So I'm definitely going to talk about that book and a lot of the concepts in there. Completely, you look at that phrase, completely true, completely you. So that's something I'm going to be needing to write about eventually. But for now, I'm just looking at these sections and trying to figure out how I want this thing to flow. So I'm starting out explaining where the idea of nonfiction branding came from. I then want to talk about branding and how it gets personal branding specifically. Then I'm going to back up a little bit and talk about branding and where that comes from. When is a brown cow not a brown cow? When it's branded. Literally, branding was about one thing. Ooh, I should add that. Was about one thing. Differentiation. Your brown cow is different than my brown cow. Why? Because I branded it. I definitely want to have illustrations of brands. There is a Texas branding. I'm making a note to myself. Contact Texas branding group. In Texas, there is I think it's a governmental, it might be quasi-governmental organization that sole purpose is to register the cattle brands of cattle companies. So I want to see if they have a photo that I could use in the book. So I'm going to remind myself to get photo of, or get illustration of brands. And so that'll be a reminder to me to actually do that. Grocery, I'll look for the red. How branding started out as graphic packaging. And again, branding was about being able to tell the difference between, let's say, a soft drink like Coca-Cola and its biggest competitor, Pepsi. What are the colors of Coca-Cola? Red and white. What are the colors of Pepsi? Blue, kind of a medium blue, but mostly blue. And what's the difference there? I walk down the soda aisle and I see the red and white stuff. That's the one I grab. Why? Because I'm a Pepsi brand aficionado. I worked on Coca-Cola in Atlanta, Georgia, and I stay true to that brand, even though I don't drink a lot of soft drinks anymore. But I'll always be a Coke dude. Grocery aisle story, branding's mind share that saves brain pain. So these are some of the benefits. Analysis, paralysis gets you out of the store faster and easier. Gets you out of the store faster And back to life. All right. Birth of a brand. Birth of a brand. Critter. Leo Burnett's Critters. Pillsbury Doe Boy. Tony Tiger. Marlboro Man. Okay. I'll talk about those things. Personalizing packaging. Ooh, that's what really the point is. It's about personalizing the packaging that the giving the product quasi-human face and personality. All right. The Obernes Critters. Hold on a second. Hold on just a second. Okay, I don't know about you, but coronavirus has got everybody in the house, and today is the day when everyone's feeling a little bit, just a little bit cray-cray. I think it's getting a little stir-crazy. And without going into great detail, I'll just say that I am the only person in this house that sports X and Y chromosomes. Our 2 dogs are female, and I love females. But, and I'm not going any further with that, please feel my pain. Please share my pain, because it's a challenge, which is why I'm in the basement, in my office, talking to you. All right, going back to the mind map. Leo Burnett's Critters. Personalizing packaging. Associating emotion with product. All right. The birth of brand. So brands have always been about differentiation, personalization, and identification. I can come up with a whole bunch of shun words. Differentiation, identification. Oops. Emotion. Ultimately, personalization. And my point is, isn't that exactly what you want to do for you and your business? It should be. All right, so that's good. I've added significantly to that section, which is going to make it a lot easier when I actually start writing this section. It's going to make it a lot easier to write that section because I've already thought through a logic path. And so I don't have to waste a lot of brain power when I actually sit down to type those sections because I'll have already figured out where I'm going. See how I'm doing one thing first. I'm creating the skeleton of the body of that section so that I can later flesh it out with the actual written word and images and graphics and illustrations that might go along with it. So just by doing that, I'm going to make it a little bit easier for me when it comes down to actually writing this beast. Because, again, if you've not written a book in the past, oh, man, where to start? How do you start? It's the metaphor I've been using on this live stream has been, it's like eating an elephant. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And the smaller the bites, the better. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time tonight. In fact, I'm going to keep an eye on my clock. I've been doing this 16 minutes and 44 seconds. I think I might make it to 20 minutes, maybe 30. But then I'm out of here because, frankly, it's Friday. And frankly, I don't think anybody's watching, which is fine. You know, I'm not worried about it. Anyway, moving on. All right, so differentiation, demonstration, fake it to make it, no, demonstrate it. Okay, so I'm reiterating that whole differentiation thing. So I'm going to have to remember that I've already talked about it up here a little bit, differentiation and stuff like that. And then refer back to, as I said in section, chapter whatever, blah, 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 blah. Brand equals value plus values. Should it be personal brand? I'm going to put personal in front. Now, I'm giving myself cues with bolding in all caps that this is a big idea. This is a major section. And then this part, personal brand equals value plus values. Your value plus your values is your nonfiction brand, your personal nonfiction brand, or nonfiction brand. I'll have to work that out in my head. I need to... one of the things you'll notice is the two little asterisks. The two little asterisks at the beginning and end of this. That's actually markdown code to tell the program that this should be bolded. Like here, if I do underscore, I think underscore will turn this italic. Let's see if it does. Yeah, okay. Underscore is italic. Two asterisks at the beginning and end will turn it into a bold italic. So let's see. If I get rid of one of the asterisks. So much for my theory. You know, I've been meaning to learn Markdown forever. I'm a big fan of John Gruber, who is the dude who created Markdown as kind of a poor man's coding for styling type for websites and things like that. And I've always paid attention to it, but not really. I haven't learned it. I should, because one of the cool things about iThoughts is it accepts Markdown cues like this to style your text. See, I get rid of the underscores and it just goes back to Roman or straight up regular stuff. Pros and cons. What's the difference? Oh, ooh. Company brand is the what? How do you answer your phone? How do you answer your phone? Question mark. That's who or what you need to be branding. One of the questions when I teach branding to people, a lot of people will be like, well, should I be branding my company or am I branding myself? And one of the games I like to play with people is, you tell me, how do you answer your phone? And if the answer is, hi, you've reached DP Knudten, there's your answer. You should be branding DP Knudten. Or if I answer the phone, hi, you've reached Collaborator Creative, I'm DP, you should be branding Collaborator Creative. Well, guess what? Collaborator Creative is me. And for the longest time, I thought I needed a company name to appear credible. And then I was out to just coffee with my friend Stacy Harbaugh here in Madison, Wisconsin. And she was saying, I was asking her about her company name, which was something that meant something to her, but basically meant nothing to the audience at large. And even me, who knows her, I was like, your company name is whatever it is. Why is it? Why did you choose that name? Oh, well, it means something to me, blah, blah, blah. And I go, well, that's interesting because it means nothing to your potential customer. And I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just trying to point out that a name that means nothing is a missed opportunity. And then I asked her, why did you create a company name? And she said, and I understood this because I did the same thing, well, I thought I needed a company name to appear credible. And me, in my coaching smartassery, said, well, how about you just be credible? And I told her this at the same time when I was doing the same damn thing. So who am I? Oh, my God. Talk about shoemakers' children have no shoes. Do you really need a company name to be credible, or will being credible work? Or will simply being credible do the same thing? Simply being credible. All right, so these are ideas that are going to find their way into the copy, which I'm not writing tonight, but I'm just getting some ideas down. I'm advancing the ball down the field toward the goalposts, the goal zone, where I will have a book done and ready for purchase via Amazon by sometime mid to late January of 2021. The files will be done and uploaded to Kindle Direct Publishing because I'm self-publishing this puppy. But, it doesn't mean the book's going to be ready January 1. I'm just I'm preserving that wiggle room for myself. All right, an umbrella brand. What's your star avatar? I think this is probably a bigger idea, so it needs to. It needs to go all caps. I'll be personal branding under think I'm going to go to this. Ooh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, hold on. I got two sections. All right, so I'm going to move this up here. I'm going to have to reorder those things a little bit. All right. So again, capturing ideas, advancing the ball down the field, getting a little further on my book. And it's a Friday at 7:37. And I think I'm going to take advantage of the fact that it is Friday. And I'm going to shut down this live stream because I've moved my book forward a little bit with the help of you, my NonFiction Brander friends, who are keeping me honest via this the realization of actually doing 301 consecutive live streams from now until January 1st, 2021. Yes, there's going to be a book. Yes, it will be available. And yes, it is called NonFiction Brand, Discovering, Crafting, and Communicating the Completely True, Completely You brand you already are. So look for it then. In the meantime, I'm DP Knudten for the NonFiction Brand podcast, which I'll be editing tomorrow morning for Monday's release. Brand new episodes with, I think, Jerry Ann Wiesbrook, who are, man, they're going to be fun. So definitely check it out. I think it's going to be episode 82, maybe 83. I got to look. But anyway, check out the NonFiction Brand podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And if you listen to it and like it, be sure to like, subscribe, review, and refer it. But most of all, review it via iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, because that really helps people find the podcast. And that would help me personally a great deal. The other thing I'd like to do is invite you to NonFiction Brandversity, the free Facebook group. Just head on over to Facebook, type in NonFiction Brandversity, ask to join, and you'll be asked 3 questions to prove you're not a bot, and then you're in. It's as easy as that. Thanks so much for helping me get this book a little bit further along. I'll talk to you next time. But in the meantime, enjoy the musical stylings of the NonFiction Brand theme song, created in GarageBand for free by me, the cheap ass rat bastard who will do anything to save money. I'll talk to you next time.